Bundy's Garage. Bundy here. Hey, today we're working on a 2012 Lexus V6 3.5 liter 2GR-FE. Just doing an overview of this thing. My wife's grandfather picked this up for $15,000. So I was just first time I've seen it. Check the oil. The oil's a little bit full, so right here is where you check the oil on a 2GR-FE Toyota engine. Under here, obviously you can see engine coolant. So you just your finger there, pop that up. As you can see right there, see that bottom line? That's where the that's the minimum for the power steering fluid is. It should be up a little bit higher than that at this very highest line right there. And also, I don't know if you guys can see down there, but the coolant is pretty low too as well. There's two lines. There's one right there at my top finger, where my finger is I should say. That's where the coolant should be when the engine's hot. And then you can see down farther there's a line where the coolant should be for cold. The coolant should be halfway between those when the car has not been driven. This engine is stone cold. So we'll go ahead, we'll fill up the antifreeze, the coolant, to the middle of those two lines. We'll top off the power steering fluid as well. A lot of these cars nowadays have all this plastic covering on them. You can see all the way through here, here. Don't be intimidated by this plastic covering. It's just plastic covering. There's nothing to be afraid of. I'm going to see if I can get this clip up. Okay, so that just pops up. Once you have it up, you just pull it out. If you wanted to get this thing off, it just pops straight off. And just pull it up. And off it comes. So this is the Toyota 2GR-FE V6 3.5 liter engine. Right down here, right here, are your coil packs. On this coil pack, I was taking a little bit closer look at it. Right here, if you pinch this side, you have to push pretty hard, but then at the same time pull out. It's right here. So right here, this clip part, right where the knife is at right now, that needs to come over this stem, I want to call it. Little plastic block. So you have to push pretty hard right here to get this part to clear. I don't want to break it, but you would push down really hard, or just have a pocket screwdriver to get this thing out. Oh man, yeah, you're not going to get that out by hand. I can only imagine how tough it would be on the back side of this engine. Just get yourself a little pocket screwdriver, put it in right here, right where the knife is right now, and pop that up and out. 10mm bolt to get the coil pack out, and then you'll be able to get to your spark plugs here. Looks like the ones in the back are under this intake. If I can find a video that shows you how to do the spark plugs on this engine, this 3.5 liter Toyota engine, then I'll put a link in the description below. I should actually probably do a video on it. Oh, look at that. So I guess if you have to take off the intake, you need a hex right there. Maybe an 8mm. I don't know. I don't have my tools with me. I'm down here in San Diego, so I didn't bring in my tools. We're about to go out to dinner, so I apologize. So you need to pop this intake off to get to the back spark plugs. Like I said, don't let all this plastic covering scare you off. There's no big deal to it. Looking it over, the brake fluid was a little bit low. You can see I'd already loosened that up, but right here I'm coming on the side, right there where my thumb is. That's where the line should be, but it's a little bit low. So he probably needs to check his brakes as well. But if you pull the cap off, right there where my thumb is, it calls for .3 brake fluid. So into O'Reilly Auto Parts, we got ourselves some .3 brake fluid. We're gonna go ahead and top this reservoir off. Don't get this on your paint. It will eat paint off of cars. If you do get paint on it, flush it with water right away. Another thing to check before you leave the parts house is make sure that that's sealed. Same with your coolant as well. Also, another thing and maintenance item right here is the battery. There's a clip right here. Lift that up. You can see your battery posts as well. positive, negative. Make sure those don't have any corrosion. You can click on the link below. I'll put a video link to maintenance on a battery that I did. It had a lot of corrosion. So just pouring it in nice and slow. We'll get up to that fill mark and we'll stop. Typically when your brake fluid is low in the reservoir, that means your brake pads are getting worn a little bit. So you can see I went a little bit past. Kind of hard to film and pour brake fluid at the same time. But the key thing to remember here is always use the brake fluid that's called for it. I know I just left O'Reilly and they have brake 4 brake fluid. So always check your owner's manual or the cap on top of the brake fluid reservoir to see what kind of brake fluid this takes. .3 right here. So probably next time I come down I'll check his brakes for him. And we'll do a change the spark plugs out as well. I apologize for the crappy audio. I forgot my mic at home. Make sure you put the cap back on the brake fluid here. Don't let that get on your paint. Make sure this is secured into place. Push down on that. Sometimes they screw down. So this one just pushes into place. Filled up the coolant. So you can see it's a little bit higher than the middle level, but that'll be okay. Only check your oil when it's stone cold. To get this cover on, let's take a look real quick on the back side, see what it looks like. So you have a mounting point here, one over here, 3-point system. We go on these little. There's so much freaking armor on this thing. One point is there, one is there, the other one is right there. So that's your 3 points of attachment. So go ahead, line it up where you pour the oil in, the oil cap. Line that up. Not there yet. I think I got it. Push down, you'll hear it. And right in the middle. Alright guys, that's how you get the cover back on. This car is pretty sweet. Took it for a test drive. Runs nice and smooth. I can talk. Nice and smooth. Double check, make sure your brake fluid reservoir cap is back into place and tight. Because if you leave this loose and you press on the brake, all the fluid will come out and hit the hood, bottom of the hood. So always make sure this is tight. Make sure your battery cover is tight. There you go. That's a quick overview of the Toyota Lexus 2GR-FE V6 3.5 liter engine. Like I said in the beginning, don't let this plastic stuff intimidate you. There's nothing to it. If you have found any of my videos helpful, please consider subscribing to Bundys Garage on YouTube. Questions, comments, concerns, you can always email me at bundysgarage@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter. And like always, I'll keep them rolling for you.